Right, I don't expect to get people to watch this, and I'm warning you. It's a very, very narrow interest video. This, so if you're looking for excitement and sort of things like that, go elsewhere, because this is. I just want to talk about something. I'm about to try something. Probably going to go offline for a little while. If anybody, I don't know if you noticed, but I have Lyme disease. Right, I've had it for a fucking age. It's fucked my life right up, and it's fucked my ability to get on with my fucking life right up. I started out on antibiotics, didn't work. Went back on antibiotics, got worse and worse until the fact that the antibiotics became intolerable. I couldn't do fuck all on it. So I've tried all sorts of things. I tried rifing, right, okay, which does have some effect. Rifing has, I think it's perfect for a new infection. Rife, bang, dump, gone. Yeah, perfect. If anybody gets bitten by a tick, find somebody with a rife machine and just get blasted. You'll be fine. Yeah, you'll be utterly fine. Herbs, yeah, herbs are great. But, in comparison to antibiotics, rife machines and herbs are fantastic, and they've kept me sort of like from falling off a fucking cliff. Right, yeah. But there's been something talked about that I'm desperate enough to try anything. I really am. I'm desperate enough to sort this out, because I need some ability to live back. I need some ability to live back. And there is something going around that you will try anything once you get desperate. I assure you. And I've heard about it. I heard about it first of all about 18 months ago, actually, and I just put it to one side, dismissed it, sort of thing like that, But I keep hearing about it, and I don't know if it's fucking crazy or absolutely not. But it's called the Zero Carb Diet, and apparently it works. I've got some other people that I'm in touch with Lyme disease who are saying it's working really, really well for them. Now, with Lyme disease, you do get a lot, a lot of false stools, things that you think are marvellous and great, and everything like that. It's a long-term thing. But this zero carb diet, I'm going to start it. Well, I have started it. I'm about day 2.5, I think, at the moment, and basically, I'm going to let you know how I get on with it. This is mainly to go out to all people with other people with Lyme disease. Yeah, and I mean, and don't wish Lyme disease on yourself, okay? If you haven't got it, if you got it, you fucking got it. Right, okay, right. If you can eat bread and have a cheese sandwich, you haven't got Lyme disease. It's the most evil thing that Lyme. It's impossible you to eat a bit of fucking crusty bread and a nice cheese with some thick butter on there. Oh, fucking lush. Nah, that's gone. That's completely gone. There you go. Eat like a bitch. But anyway, so I'm starting off on the zero carb diet, and I'm going to sort of like post updates on how it's going. Okay. Fingers crossed. I had a bit of a rough day today, but I think that's because I overdid the herbs yesterday, and I think if I'm going to do on this zero carb diet, I've got to basically stop all other treatments and just go totally zero carb treatment. Anyway, I've got to get out of here now, because here come some people. Cheers. Hi. Day 4 of zero carb diet. Okay. Wow. I'm feeling a thousand times better. Yesterday was egregious. I won't use the F word. I'm going to try not to use the F word today, because I heard it. It was at least 20 F words yesterday. Sorry about that. For those of sensitive souls. Yes. Yesterday, it's day 4. I'm a bit alive again today. I'm not swinging through the trees. I'm not sort of like leaping around and doing dances and things like that. Still hurt from head to foot, but actually this is better. This is better. And I won't be a second. Yeah, I've been in touch with quite a few groups. That's my dog there. Hello, dog. Been trying to touch with a few groups, and I'm doing this in public actually. So they'll probably think I'm completely mental, but it's quite true. And just getting sort of ideas and supports about what I'm doing if I'm doing it right. So what I'm doing is actually I'm drinking only water, and I'm eating fish and primarily beef with some. I had a bit of pork belly yesterday, which was really nice. And that's it. But the hunger pangs have gone. There's no hunger pangs. Um, you know you're hungry because you start getting a bit dizzy and things like that, and you just eat and it's fine. And then 5 minutes later, but there's no big highs, and then there's no big troughs. It's all a bit sort of like along like that, which is quite nice. It's a quite a good reasonable. It's not sort of a long sort of, but it's livelier. So that's day 4 of zero carbs, and I've done zero carbs. I've just had meat and water. I did have a cup of black coffee this morning at 7 o'clock. Um, that was just the taste. Didn't seem to get a hit off the caffeine either, like, which is quite interesting. But no alcohol, no nothing else. Just this zero carb, and I'm going to see how it goes. But day 4 is definitely a thumbs up in comparison to what it's been in the past. Okay, so fingers crossed, and hooking tomorrow, and we'll see how we get on day 5. Cheers. Day 4 adjunct. Just a quick one. The loo. I've been to the loo now 3 times today, which is good, which means that everything's moving in that department. And I'm feeling. I've just walked about 2.5 miles, which is the furthest I've walked in a bloody long while. And it's great to be alive. Just to let you know, yeah. All I've eaten today is a mackerel and some prawns. I haven't had any. I've got some beef later on, but that seems to be good. Fish. Anyway, cheers. Zero carb diet versus Lyme disease, day 5, and here we are. I've had a few false dawns with Lyme disease before, with the herbal treatments. Even, I mean, with all sorts of treatments, you go into them and you go into them quite sort of like positive. I mean, I can remember going back about 5-6 years when I went my first alternative so-called treatment thing, because the antibiotics that my regular doctor had prescribed me just didn't work at all, actually, to be honest. It was a bit of a pain. It was a bit, it was a bit, but just a waste of time. But I had actually 8 months of being all right with this alternative treatment. It was it was some kind of uh, where you drank this stuff and it treated you. It was some kind of herbal protocol type of thing, actually, like, but a German-based thing. And yeah, it gave me 8 months. And then one day I was building a chimney stack on a house, like on my house actually. I was up at the top of the scaffolding and I was building this chimney stack. And I looked at my mate who was building it with me. I said, "Do you know what? I don't feel right." Bump, went over. Fucking straight back Lyme again, like, absolute herxing, or whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it, herxing, but it's just straight Lyme disease. Absolutely knackered me and put me right off kilt again. And that was 8 months, and I thought I was free. I was very disappointed with that. Like, okay. And then there's been other false dawns, and I've had, like, just coming up to this Christmas just gone, I had about 4 weeks where I was all right. And I was just taking this sort of like these sort of like these herbs and things like that, and the herbs can really do it work. But the problem is I think the spirochetes, the spirochetes, I think like that, Lyme, if you know them, I think they're very adaptable in their very thing, because they turn off part of your immune system. I mean, one of the way Lyme's actually sort of things, because the way they check for Lyme's, they actually check for it by looking for antibodies, which is great if you've just been bitten by a tick within the last 7 to 8 weeks, up to about 7 to 8 weeks, because you've got antibodies running around your system like after the Lyme. But what the Lyme does actually, it turns off several markers in your immune system, which stops the part of the immune system that would attack the spirochetes. There's Lyme spirochetes. It attacks the Lyme spirochetes. It stops them from actually working. So when they give you a blood test later on, so you might have been bitten by a tick 2 years ago, and suddenly you're screwed because it can lie fairly dormant. Some sort of traumatic shock and everything like that can bring it up. They test your blood and everything like that, and they say, well, you've got no antibodies, so you haven't got Lyme, which is bollocks. Excuse my language, I do apologise, but bollocks actually is not a swear word. It's Anglo-Saxon for testicles. Anyway, so which is testicles. But anyway, day 5 of the thing, Zero Carb Diet. I basically, I'm well for 5 minutes. My brain is actually, the brain clarity is pretty good actually. I think I've gained a few IQ points from how I used to be recently, and I feel more positive, and I can actually think about things in a more workman-like manner. I have to work. I'm a glass maker, and I tell you, right, one thing is, you do have to drink some water. For some reason, my thirst level seems to be quite high, but water tastes good. Not tap water. The water, I'm in Bristol at the moment, and the water that comes out the taps tastes like, to me at the moment. Before I could drink it, it just tasted like water, but now to me it tastes really, really horrible. So I've been filtering the water. I've got a water filter in work, so I can filter out water and fill up things and have bottles and filtered water by my bed and everything like that. And as being a glass maker, what I'm going to do is I'm going to design a nice little glass and carafe, and have that sort of thing like that. So, and I'm going to sell them, because basically I've got to make a living. I've got to earn some money. I mean, I've ticked over for 10 years. I hardly made a halfpenny in 10 years. Just about managed to feed the thing. And if it wasn't down to my wife, who was actually been pulling her, working herself to death, actually, I would have been bankrupt and gone by now. And if my wife wasn't here and I wasn't married, I'd probably most likely be dead, to be quite honest. I wouldn't even be alive. So very grateful we're very lucky. If you're young and you're a young man and you want to get married, choose your partner carefully. Choose your partner carefully, not like I did, because mine one was pure luck, no rhyme or reason. I just fell in love with her straight away, and I don't feel any different now. God knows how many years later, a lifetime later, I don't feel any different, which is great. But I think she thinks that I'm something that's been sent to try her this lifetime. But I do love her. I think she loves me, which is good. Yes, so Lou, fine at the moment, absolutely fine. I went to the toilet about 4 or 5 times yesterday. Actually, it was great. Thirsty, water, drinking lots of water, not drinking anything else, except I did have another cup of coffee this morning, and my God, does it taste good. Last night I've been eating mainly, I don't know why, but I'm craving fish in the morning, so I've been eating fish in the morning, and that sense of sort of like takes me through all the way through to late afternoon, where I eat something in the late afternoon. And then last night, just before I went to bed, I had a couple of little lamb cutlets with all the grease. I think, to be quite honest, the trick with this is the fat. And we got to eat the fat of the land, if you know what I mean. So lots of fat. And the good news is my wife has actually seen the improvement of me. She just can't believe the improvement of me. She said she's never seen me in 10 years be like this. It's just almost like the human that she married. Which is, she's finding it an adjustment period. She's finding it harder to adjust than me not being absolutely dreadfully ill, because I do video blogs and I do post and everything like that normally, but you don't, you sort of like crawl to, I mean, she's saying like, you know, you crawl to somewhere, make a video, and crawl back in there and go back to bed again, like, you know, which has been really, really hard, like, you know, and but now I've been in work this morning. I'm now out walking the dog, and there's my dog. There he is. He's sitting down. He's not feeling very good this morning because he cut his paw on some glass. Now it's quite funny because he's in a glass studio making glass, and he cut his paw over the bloody park when my wife took him for a walk this morning, walking the dog. So he's in glass, broken glass, around broken glass all day. Never has a cut paw. Goes over the park, cuts his paws. Funny, it's so weird that, because that's what used to happen to my old dogs as well. They'd all cut themselves on the street and everything, but he's got a bad paw at the back, so he's just taking it easy today. His name's Dupe, and he's a mongrel, Staffordshire Bull Terrier, sort of like a Staffy, but a mongrel. He's half Staffy and half Boxer, we think. But he's a lovely dog, really sweetheart. Okay, well, so day 5. Everything's cool running. I can't really, there's not a lot to report except I'm feeling well, and and surprisingly, and all I've eaten is meat and fish, and the cost of this, I've done a rough estimate. I'm spending probably on average at the moment around about $8.50 to $9.50 a day. That's English pounds, you know, thing. Dollars in America, that'd be $14 or something, $15. Euros, that'd be 12 euros. The sod the euros. Very anti-EU. God, they're putting a thing. I shouldn't be talking about this on here, but God, they're putting a thing out that all cars are going to be restricted to the speed limit, so they're going to have an automatic speed gun. God, they make the laws to train us well, don't they, the European Union? And we voted to leave, and they're not letting us leave. Yeah, I always said that anyway. But anyway, day 5. Feeling good, feeling positive, and feeling happy. And I've only eaten meat and drank water. I mean, that goes against everything that we've been told all my life. There's so many things that I'm discovering at this late age in my life that everything that I'm told was an absolute bloody lie. Yeah, I mean, it's red pill after red pill after red pill. Anyway, this diet's a bit of a red pill. All right, people, stay strong, and do write in the comments below if you want to say anything. It's quite a long chat today, but enjoy and have a good one. Peace.
Day 7, Lyme disease versus zero carb. Zero carb is knocking Lyme disease out of the park. Yes, day 7. If I'd known it was this easy, I mean, the amount of difficulty that I've experienced in the last 10 years, if I'd known it was this easy. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Yes, I feel absolutely marvellous. Last night, or yesterday afternoon evening, I got on my bicycle and I rode across town. And I found a shop that was open and bought myself a water purifier, you know, where you put it for water filter. Yes, and I filtered a load of water. So because the water coming out the taps, before I didn't mind it, you know, I could drink it, and but now it tastes it tastes like metal and ugh. So I've bought myself a water filter, and I bought myself this as well. One of these, so I don't have to buy bottled water anywhere, so I don't have to buy any plastic. Found one of these bottles that I topped up with water, so wherever I go I've got plenty of water on board. Yeah, because it's nice to have water on board. I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning after going to bed at 10 o'clock last night. Straight through. I think I got for the pee once in the middle of the night, but I slept straight through apart from that. And basically 6 o'clock I got up. I thought I felt thirsty. I thought I needed a drink, so I went and got a nice glass of filtered water, and thought, well, I'm not going back to bed again, and stayed up. And I've realised one thing that you gain from this is so much time. Save time cooking, you save time clearing up, you save time shopping, and you save time all that thing, and you save so much time not feeling bad. Considering in Lyme, with Lyme disease, I mean, you are sleeping 10 hours a day. You know, that is the sort of like the number of hours that you normally sleep per day. And that, you know, that's, so if I can get my sleep down to about, I want to get my sleep down to about 6.5 to 7 hours. I mean, that's another 3 hours on top of about the 4 hours I've saved not eating so much and everything like that. I did have a lovely breakfast this morning. Yeah, I know it's boring, people telling you about what you ate, but I got to be honest with you, I got to share this with you. I had 2 smoked kippers and a couple of poached eggs on top. Yes, get in. And that was about 6:30 by the time I got round and cooked that, sat down and ate that, and cleaned the house up and everything. It is now about 4:10. I've drank water all day long. I've been at work since 8 o'clock till 4 o'clock, and I've basically haven't needed to eat at all, really. So I'm going to drive home and eat when I get home. It's about a 2-hour drive, but I work away in the week and come back at home when I can work. I haven't been able to do this. This is like going back 10 years. It's weird. It's absolutely totally weird being like this. If I'd known it was so easy. It's just ridiculous. So if you're watching this and you don't know what I'm talking about, it's zero carbs. It's just basically you're eating no carbs whatsoever. So it's basically just meat and water. Meat, I mean, I have included eggs and I have included fish because I like fish. And I used to be a fisherman. I run a boat. I still have a boat, and I'm going to start running that boat again this year. I'm going to get it out, get it all cleaned up. I'm going to go out and I'm going to go hunting my fish for my tea. Fresh fish, straight off the rod, proper sea fish. Lovely. Good news is my wife is taking the heed what I've done. She's seen my amazement. She's saying she's utterly amazed at my transformation. So she's actually going down to, she's trying to go into zero carbs. She has a thyroid condition, and there's lots of things I'm warning against doing it if you've got a thyroid condition. But I did say, see how it goes for a few days. The thing is, yesterday she felt terrible and grim. And but I did on the first couple of days, to be quite honest. I felt terrible and grim on the first couple of days, but she basically today is feeling better and more positive as the days gone on. She's feeling better, so I'm going home to see her now, and hopefully it will work for her, because this thyroid condition is I don't understand it. Hashimoto's disorder. Yeah, what a pair we are, what a pair. Yeah, chronically ill. Yeah, and the doctors haven't got a bloody clue. And everything we've been told, everything, kids, if you're a kid watching this, everything you've been told at school is a lie. Just about everything. Everything is a lie. I mean, we are surrounded by lies. Yes. And Jordan Peterson and his daughter, young girly Peterson, I don't know what her name, Michaela. If you happen to see this, thank you very much and hi. You're the people that pointed me in this direction. And all the people on the zero carbs, I thank you all, and I thank you all for your support. And you've been fun online today, actually. And Yeah, anything north of Gloucester is up north. I'm now going even further south, actually, down into southwest, to the southwest coast where I live, where they go surfing, my babber, and all that. Like, I'm in a T4 van, if anybody's wondering, and it's up on eBay right now. T4 caravel van, still reserve price of 250 quid. So, or starting bid 250 quid. I've got to sell it because I've had it for about 10 years and it's been, well, I've been ill, I've had it, and I've spent absolutely nothing on it, and I've just driven it, and it's a beautiful van. I love it to death. It's my favourite vehicle I've ever owned, apart from my Triumph test convertible that I really sorted the engine and the suspension out on. And I'm probably just going to buy a Transit custom van or something like that when this is sold. But this is a lovely van. If anybody wants to buy a T4 van, it's on eBay. Shouldn't probably do this on this video. Anyway, day 7, Lyme versus Zero Carb. I think basically it's about 5-2 on the scoring point at the moment, but the last 4 days have been zero carb, zero carb, zero carb all the way. Thank you very much, people. Have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Cheers. Zero Carb versus Lyme, day 9. It rhymes. And there's a dog running down the middle of the road, and my dog's just seen it, and he's gone past. He's all right. Okay. Day 9. Zero Carb versus Lyme, day 9, and we're all fine. And it's been a good time. And I'm really pleased. Yeah. I'm doing all right with the food. Couldn't get any fish this weekend because I live in a village by the sea and I couldn't get any bloody fish. Well, there you go. I have to go out fishing myself and go and get some when I get my boat, if I'm well enough to get my boat out. You can't go out fishing with Lyme. No, it's just not going to happen. Yes. For you people who do have Lyme, have you ever noticed something that I noticed? My wife used to call me the shit werewolf, which is basically because when it came up to a full moon or even a new moon sometimes, mainly on a full moon but on a new moon as well sometimes, I would become really grim, absolutely, even if I'm bouncing along like, best I can, like you do, 10 hours sleep, but getting what you can, as much thing you can do as possible. Come up to a new moon or full moon, and about 3 or 4 days before, and that's it. You're off. You're out. Bedfordshire, and basically you're stuck really. That. Sorry about this. Got a little cargo. Country lanes, English country lanes. They're marvellous. Built for horse and carriages, not for bloody girt vans, and basically I was called a shit werewolf by my wife, and we were around at my grandparents, her grandparents, no, not grandparents, in-laws. Our in-laws, we call them the grandparents because we've had kids and everything like that. They're now great-grandparents because I'm a grandparent now. And with my grandfather, my father-in-law, he's a direct Viking. His name's a Viking name. They're English, but they're incomers, and I think they came over in the 8th or 9th century, but they've kept that Viking name all the way through, and they lived in the same virtual spot that the Vikings must have landed, up on the north coast somewhere, up in Cumbria. Anyway, but they're lovely people, and you think, I can't see how these Vikings were that vicious and raping and killing and everything like that. Anyway, we were around there, and I was dumped on the sofa because I was absolutely buggered. It's only a couple of weeks ago, this actually, but it did make me laugh for hours and hours and hours. And he said, "Oh, really bad today," and my wife said to him, "Yeah, he's really bad today. It's coming up to a full moon. He's a shit werewolf." And he said, "Oh God, yeah, shit werewolf." He said he's got all the bad sides of being a werewolf, and absolutely none of the upsides of being a werewolf. And my wife looked at him and said, what's the upsides of being a werewolf then? And he said, oh, you know, all that raping and pillaging and killing and murdering. and he said it without any guile. And then as he sort of was getting it, you could see it was sort of like a, ooh. And I said, oh, I said, so you are a Viking. You have let your Viking guard down. You are definitely a Viking. But anyway, there was that one. And I was giggling about that for ages and ages because he's such a sweetheart. And yet he just let that one go down so easily. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. And I probably might give it 1 or 2 days because this is all going so well. It's boring just seeing somebody saying, yes, I'm fine, yes, I'm fine. You know. But anyway, be good. And remember, Lyme people, when it is dark and grim and you're feeling all alone and nobody understands, there is hope. Cheers. Action. Zero carb day 11. Or yeah, sorry about that. Yes, had a little slip yesterday. Not a brilliant day yesterday. I think it was my own fault. And basically, I live in 2 places. It's very hard to explain, but I have to move between 2 places because of who I am and what I do. Anyway, I basically got here where I am now, and I was bloody starving. I had nothing to eat, and my wife was coming up because I travelled up with the dogs, so I couldn't travel up with meat in the van because it would have been me and the dogs would have been fighting all the way up. So. So when I got here, I was bloody starving, and my wife was about an hour or so behind me. And instead of just drinking a glass of water and just chilling out and just doing something really I thought, what could I do to give me a bit of energy, a bit of a thing, because I was feeling very lethargic and everything like that. I had some tahini, of all things. I thought, well, that's going to be zero carb. Yeah. One thing when you do this, I don't think it's got any carbs in it or anything like that, but it's sesame seeds, crushed sesame seeds, basically. The oil from sesame seed and sesame seed oil, which is very nice. I bloody love it. I can eat it straight from the tub. Mouthful, it sticks your mouth together. I like that. That is nice, actually. And I felt as rough as rats yesterday, to be quite honest. So I blamed that. This morning, yesterday though, as rough as rats, I still had an element of clarity that I didn't have before, and I still could manage to spuddle through my day. You know, quite a bit of pain, but not as bad as I was before, and managed to walk the dogs and do that and everything, and still done something which is really, really good. Today, I've been at it all bloody day. Now, thank you. I want to say thank you, by the way, for all your comments down in the comment sections in these videos. I know we don't get a lot of watchers normally when I post, because I am a bit of a blogger, really, and I post quite political stuff, and hence been demonetized from Twitter. I'm virtually kicked off of, not Twitter, YouTube, and nearly kicked off of Twitter. And I do not put anything on Facebook because basically it's just no. You know, I'd be if I said what I really thought, I'd be off Facebook in 5 minutes. So, but anyway, it's red pill all the way to the bank, I'm afraid. Anyway, so here we are. I've come round after being ill for a very, very long time. I've been trying to do the maths. I've been telling everybody 10 years. It's been 10 years. I think, to be quite honest, it's probably near 8 years, eight and a bit years, which is still long enough. But the problem is when you come round, and you've not been, functioning, you've been functioning at 20-25% of whatever you could do. There is so much work to be done. There's so many things that need to be done. I have been working myself quite hard today, actually. I've achieved some stuff today, actually, which is very, very good. I'm really, really pleased. But in the comments, in the setups, sorry, I keep losing my drift, actually, there. Like, you know, one of the reasons why we've only got a few views, but I can actually read all the comments in here. Like, you know, when you post something political and you get sort of like a few thousand views and there's about 300-400 comments, and the comments take a life of their own. People start discussing things and everything like that, and it is interesting and everything like that, but it's time, you know, time again. Like, you haven't got time just to sit down and stare at a bloody screen. So but at least on this level, we're talking what, 30, 40, 50, 60 views. I think it's 72 is the most one. That's brilliant. I can answer each comment, I can be in touch, and it can be a sort of a two-way thing. I really quite like it, actually, you know, but I mean, if it takes off, it takes off, but I'm not particularly worried. And one thing I did think, like, what I do is I shove these up on YouTube and I delete them. I might re-download them all off the YouTube and put them into one big video, sort of like, you know, so they think, you know. And my next one is going to be on day 11? Now, my next one's going to be on day 12, 13, 14, but on day 15, because I've got an awful lot to be doing. I'm in the studio from now on, really, till the weekend. We're recording an album because I'm well, so the studio said, get in and play, so yes. So this, I think it's going to be called Dark English Incantations. I wrote the music, somebody else has written the lyrics. I'm the sort of like I'm doing the music side of it, and somebody else is doing the singing side of it. So it's a really nice project, and that EP, it's going to be a 6-song EP. It's going to be out, and that's been on the back burner for about God knows how many years, but everybody's still up for it. So that's really good. Yeah. So zero carb. People have been asking me what I've been eating. I didn't want to come here and think, but this morning I went to a proper butcher's, because I've been buying my food from, one of the larger supermarkets, you know. Things, living well for less, which makes me want to kill everybody in there, I don't know why. So I went to a proper butcher this morning. I got beef dripping, I got goose fat, really quite looking forward to that. I got some belly of pork, I got some bones for bone broth, and I've got some bone broth cooking on that, which is something I've always loved anyway. Like, yeah, I've brought up on bone broth. And what else did I get? Oh, I got some unlean mince. One of the things that I find about the meat that you get in all these supermarkets and everything like that, they're all going on for, this is really lean, this is really mean, no fat, zero fat. They're still on this fat is bad sort of thing going on, trying to convince people that fat is bad, when fat is really good for you. You know, so I went up to the butcher's and I said to him, I want fat, and he smiled and he said, I can give you fat. So I've got myself a really good butcher not far from where I am here, and where I live in the other place. Butcher's my mate, but I don't think he's a great butcher. Anyway, Andy's a good butcher, but his boss isn't. He's a bit of a chode. But anyway. That's not a thing. So I'm going to be going to, this morning I had belly of pork and eggs. I do love eggs. I've always eaten lots of eggs, and I do love eggs. As for the bowel movements, yesterday I was very poorly, but I managed to go to loo about 4 or 5 times, actually. I don't know why. It seems like you go for 4 or 5 times in a day, then you stop, then it seems to build up for 2-3 days, then you go, then you build up and go like that. So I don't know if that's going to settle down, but I'm definitely going to walk the straight and narrow. I'm not going to take anything. And my wife, who's done the same, is feeling poorly today because, well, I mean, my daughter got taken to hospital yesterday. Nothing. It turned out to be a false alarm, which was thank God. And but my wife took her in. And of course, those places are sort of like deserts for carnivores. And she ended up eating a piece of chocolate. And she said, even by the time she finished it, she started to feel walking warm. So I confessed to her about eating the what do you call it now, the tahini, and she confessed to me about having the chocolate because she said I feel terrible today. But she's coming up here and she's going to be all right later on, and we're going to have a nice dinner later on. Thank you very much. Keep your comments coming. I will try to sort of like be on top of them all the time. I'm not online as much as I used to be because I'm busy. Okay, but as soon as I get back, I will get online. Thank you very much. This has been an Adders 45 production. Like and subscribe. Yeah, like and subscribe if you want to, and if you hate me, as Reagan says, then you're probably a vegan. I love you. Cheers. Right, here we go. I've got some notes to do. Yes, day 15, zero carbs versus Lyme. And hi, I'm back online. But, you know, it hasn't been all plain sailing. No, it hasn't all been plain sailing. Can you? I don't know if you can remember a couple of episodes back. I told you about what was it now? The shit werewolf. All the shit parts of being a werewolf, but none of the good parts, you know. And we've just come through a new moon, and I'm going to say this because it's sort of like, you know, normally coming up to a new moon, I would have been sort of like out, gone, bed, yeah, just out of it, just unable to function, zero function, gone, like, you know. I can see the light, Pa. Do I walk towards the light? Yes, and but this time I sort of like was aware that the moon was coming up, but I was sort of like just felt a little bit and a bit and a bit. Then people at work told me I was completely out of whack, and I was sort of like, you know, sort of like, you know, no, you've lost it, you've lost it, sort of thing like that, like, you know. So and it wasn't really until the day of the new moon, which was Friday, that I sort of like came round again. I suddenly thought, fucking hell, where have I been for a day or so? That, you know, just took me completely gone, like that, like, you know. And so the shit werewolf is still around, nowhere near as bad, but the shit werewolf is still around. So be interesting to find out what happens next time when the shit werewolf's still due. So, but what we've done is I've written all the diary, shit werewolf time, which is about the 3 days before the new moon, and I'm I want to be obvious, 3 days before the full moon. It's usually the new moon with me. Some people say they do it on the full moon, but I do it on the new moon, and just see what happens next time. If it's milder, hopefully it'll get milder and milder and milder as time goes on. But yeah, I've been since then, since Friday, Friday about midday, absolutely fine, good. I have been totally, since then I've been absolutely spannered, doing so much shit. So, I mean, yeah, the recording went really, really well. Quite hard work, really. Quite hard work, but we've got 6 tracks down now. We've got to do the overdubs and the mastering and blah, 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 you know, that lot, and the mixing. And that's where the fight begins between me and the producer. So I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And I, you know, so, but I've been doing absolutely so much. Because when I've been ill for so long, your life just becomes an absolute bloody mess. There's just things that just don't get done. I really didn't have a vehicle that was sort of like roadworthy, really. Well, I didn't drive really, so I didn't need a vehicle. So I've just disposed of my cars now, on van. The Millennium Volkswagen is no more, but he's gone off to an enthusiast. He's taken up north, and they're going to rebuild it completely. We thought, well, not rebuild it completely. They're going to keep it ratty, but they're going to make sure it's mechanically absolutely sound, and they're going to sort of like have it as it is,
because they say it's sexy and gorgeous as it is, and it's going to be so cool. So that's really pleased me. So he said when he's got it done, he's going to bring it down and show me. So that's really lovely. So I've had that vehicle. 2004. So it turned out that I bought that van. 2004. God, yes. And it's a diesel, like, okay. Anyway, today I picked up a petrol car. For the first time I've driven a petrol car since 2004. Wow. And first petrol car I've driven, and diesels are great. They will, they'll get you from A to B, but you drive diesels for that reason. You drive diesels to get you from A to B, But petrol engines, well, come on. Now, but when I got in this car, it's a 16 valve, 1.6 16 valve, right? Okay, fuel injection, and I'm thinking, it should spin quite well, should go like that, and it didn't really particularly. It went, compared to a diesel, it went not much better than a diesel. I'm thinking it's a bit fucking spannerless, isn't it, this one? And we got to going up this big hill, up over the Mendips on the way back, and it started going as we're going up, sort of like, there's the old automatic advancing retard that used to be on the old car, like, the advancing, the vacuum thing that they still use on the modern system, is not actually sealed. So I drove it home to here, and I sort of like popped the bonnet and have a look, and there it was, right in front of me. It was, somebody, but they put whoever sold it to me just put a new alternator and new bits and pieces on it, and they knocked the vacuum seal off, and the air filter was completely hanging off as well. So I put it all back on, and I just went out to the shops in it, like, you gotta like a petrol engine. God, don't they spin? You can have powerful diesel engines, but this has got nothing to do with zero carb, is it? But you can have powerful diesel engines, but the power don't come the same. Anyway, yeah. So here I am, and I'm day 15, and I'm after 8 years, I'm alive again, but I've got no social life at all. Absolutely zero. Billy no mates. How do you meet you? Yeah, Billy no mates, because basically life moves on so quickly, and if you're not actually in there and doing it with people, they move on, and life moves on, and people move on, and you lose touch with people. And when you've got fucking Lyme disease, you can't socialise, you can't be a thing, you can't do that. You're not actually well enough to do that. So all you want to do is go to bed all the time. That's all you want to do. So, social life. Hello, I'm a carnivore. Pleased to meet you. God, that's a talking point, isn't it? A carnivore. I mean, how do you tell people that you're a bloody carnivore? I think you just get out and say it, really. Yeah. No, it's alright, I don't eat vegetables. I eat meat. I tried it today, actually. Just talking to somebody, like, because I've been all over Somerset. I've been on van, car, coach, train, bus, train, taxi. That's today, and I've been all over Somerset. Anyway, but I said to somebody said something about, do I want a sweet? I said, no, it's all right, I can't eat them. They said, oh, why not? I said, well, I'm a carnivore. And I said, what do you mean you're a carnivore? I said, well, I only eat meat. And I just said it like that. It's all right. What, you only eat meat, you don't eat vegetables? And you can see it was a bloke, actually, and you can see it, and he grinned, and he said, no, he said, you're pulling my chain on you. I said, no, I only eat meat. I don't eat anything else. I just eat meat now. And I said, eggs and fish and meat. Yeah. And he said, oh, that sounds like a dream. And he said, is it all right? I said, yeah, it's fine. I said, I've only done 15 days. This is my 15th day, but in comparison to how I used to be, this is a completely different sort of thing. There's a taxi driver, this one. He was Russian. Yeah, my friend, Russian. Yes. He was going on about how that his leader is very, very scary. Yes.
and how British are very, very wet. Oh, he hates Britain for the Brexit. Anyway, so there you go. Well, I'm not going to, yeah. But anyway, I am so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be awake. I've got no social life. I've got to sort of like, now there is life before Lyme, I've been told, and there's life after Lyme, which is sort of like nothing to do with sort of like, you're basically, you can't overdo it. You can't overdo it. But I've actually managed to do quite a lot today, and I'm feeling quite buoyant and quite positive. Yeah. So all hail to you. So if anybody, honestly, if you've got Lyme, and you're just watching this, and you're at the end of your tether, you think, even if, look, beware false dawns. I mean, I've always been told that on this one, like, yeah. And the other one with me was, I think the shit werewolf came back because as my wife said, don't go around saying that you're cured or anything yet, because the universe will take one look at you and go, okay, there it is, I've got him. Have some of that. Yeah. Anyway, cheers, people, and here's to the next one, which will be day 22. I will see you on day 22. Take care. Bye.